Dad was a notable track athlete at Muskingum College. And when Jesse they were going to have a meet at Ohio State, and Dad and some other guys came over to watch the meet. And back then, the stadium was opened to the south end, back towards the towers, and the track actually had a 220 straightaway, which started way out in the field. And they ran an event back then called the 220 low hurdles. And they'd start out there in the field, and when you're sitting in the stands, you couldn't see the start. Well, Jesse was in the race, and they started the race, the gun went off, and 3 or 4 guys came in the stadium on the track, no Jesse. And then all of a sudden, here comes Jesse, zoom, right by him. I guess he'd hit a hurdle and fell down, and got up and still won the race.
People recall the great accomplishments, but I remember him as a very personable person. And whenever he was in town, he never failed to stop by the track office. And we would chat for a while, and then he was very interested in meeting with the young athletes on the track. And we would go down on the track at practice, and he would single out an athlete here and there, and he'd want to know what their first name was. And of course, the athlete would be surprised that he was calling them by their first name, and they were sort of in awe of that. And it was the personal side of Jesse that you had to know.
He was always a real classy guy. He always was dressed very formal, and he just commanded a large audience wherever he walked, when he walked in, and there was always a lot of people around him.
If I was to ever, dream of anybody that I'd like to meet in sports, that was it. I still get goosebumps and tears.
I think when I first met him, I was expecting Superman. But after he spoke of his experience in Berlin, I realized that he was teaching us about the very opposite of Superman. He nearly panicked in the long jump and was helped by a German athlete, Lutz Long, through his most fearful period. And that's where I learned that Jesse was telling us there are no supermen, Aryan, African, or otherwise, only men.
Wherever he went, people recognized the name, and they recognized what he had accomplished.
He was a humble person with just a lot of dignity.
He just was a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal person.
Inspirational, I think. He helped so many people, especially the youngsters.
A great athlete, a great gentleman, but above all, an ambassador for Ohio State to the world for all time.